Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and I'm gonna have to be a little quieter and more controlled in this one than I usually am, mostly because my dad is sleeping. It's midnight here, pretty late, and my dad came back like a couple of hours ago. He spent the whole afternoon at work. He's pretty tired, and if I start yelling into my microphone, like I sometimes do, he's gonna come in here and he's gonna kick my ass. And we can't have that happen now, can we? But back to the main topic of the video, which is my review of New Avengers Volume 1, Everything Dies by Jonathan Hickman and Stephen Epting. This first volume pretty much covers the first 6 issues. I would like it to be noted that the trade of this is not out yet. It's coming out July 16th. However, the 6th issue came out today, and I'm basically reviewing this sort of in issue form, even though it's one complete story. One problem I have with this book right off the bat is the title of it. Like, why isn't it just called The Illuminati? Like, if you have to pander to the Avengers audience, call it like Secret Avengers or something, because this is like a hidden team that no one else is supposed to know about, and I think that Secret Avengers would be a far better title for this book. And you could just call the Secret Avengers book like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that way you can pander to the movie crew and to the TV audience and stuff. Or hell, if you really have to call it New Avengers, call it New Avengers Illuminati like it is inside the fucking book. But besides the title, I have to say that this first story arc is pretty damn good, but it can become a bit confusing. Basically what's happened is that the story begins in Wakanda post-AVX with a group of teenagers that are basically on this journey and this test to figure out if they're the smartest and the best of their respective generation. They basically complete their trial and they prove that they are the best current generation. They are the best of their own generation in Wakanda, and Black Panther goes to personally congratulate them on their success. During this, a cosmic event happens in which Black Panther pretty much finds out that there is an event in the universe called an incursion, in which a world is basically destroyed through natural means, and he finds out that an incursion is going to happen to their Earth at some point. And the children that are basically the finest of their generation get killed. Black Panther captures Black Swan, who is the person sort of connected with these incursions, and he basically brings back the old Illuminati team, which he refused to be a part of back in the good old days when the first Illuminati group was founded, and he basically calls them in, brings them all together so that they can figure out how to stop these incursions. And the big theme of this book is what you would do to save yourself, your family, all your loved ones from complete and utter destruction. And that's pretty much the big theme of this book. All of these people, the smartest people in the Marvel Universe, or the most powerful ones like Black Bolt, Namor, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Black Panther, Steve Rogers, and stuff, all of these guys are basically heroes at their very core. They've always sort of strived to do what was right, but now they're in a situation where they don't have any time to play nice. They try to follow Cap's mentality of, we can figure this out, just don't give up, don't go the bad route, and to do something you'll regret, we can do this, we're the Avengers and stuff. And basically the big theme of this book is them doing a very questionable thing at the very conclusion of the story arc. It's basically them sort of destroying everything they've fought for all of these years and basically becoming kind of murderers and stuff. And it's a pretty interesting thing to ask yourself. Like, if the world was going to end tomorrow, like, what would you do if you could to save your world, save your friends, your loved ones, everyone you've ever cared about, if you could, and how far would you go to do it? And that's the big theme of this book, and it's a really interesting one, and I really like how Steve tries to be the guy who's still kind of hopeful. He's like kind of the guy with the old world views and the old world mentality, basically tells them, we can do this the right way. We don't have to become murderers or become monsters or something to save our world. And they basically try to do it his way, and it just does work. And then they are forced to do something incredibly questionable, highly morally reprehensive and stuff. And it's just a really fascinating theme, especially for a lot of these characters who are not usually associated for doing stuff like this. Like, if this was in the Ultimate Universe where superheroes kill all the time, I wouldn't care. In fact, this would be kind of out of character. But in the 616 universe, where heroes don't kill and they see that as something wrong, it's pretty interesting to see them sort of push aside all of their morals, all their codes and stuff, and basically do what needs to be done in order to save their world. And I will say that if this book has any flaw, it's that all the cosmic stuff can be sort of confusing, because you have different types of incursions. They happen like every 8 hours and stuff. And basically something that's introduced at the very end of the book is like different types of incursions. Like, you have red incursions, which are natural ones. They're the natural depths of a planet. But blue ones are sort of incursions where this whole separate species known as map makers are sort of attacking another world and basically sacrificing it to save their own from an incursion. So they basically destroy other planets to save their own. And that's kind of what the Illuminati are forced to do in this book, and it's really, really fascinating. But it also can be really confusing, because Hickman has this mad sci-fi bent. He has a lot of these cosmic type stories, and you're going to have to read this at least a few times in order to fully understand it. And this isn't a book which you can read in like late at night or when you're half asleep, kind of like I just did, because I'm literally reviewing this just after reading it, and I'm kind of tired at this point. I was kind of tired while I was reading it, so I wasn't able to, 100% focus on what was going on, but I was able to, like, get 85% of the story and stuff. So yeah, if there is one flaw with this book, is that the cosmic stuff can be very confusing. It's not a complete mindfuck, kind of like Batman R.I.P., and this whole story is mostly self-contained. You don't have to read anything else besides this. And I think you're going to have to reread this story at least a couple of times to fully understand it, or read it once, but think about everything that's going on. Like, be 100% into the book 100% of the time while you're reading it, and I think you'll be able to understand everything perfectly, because I knew I was kind of scratching my head when by the time I was reaching the end of the story, I was kind of scratching my head and things were kind of making less and less sense, but I was still able to figure out, mostly what was going on. So that's the only big flaw of this book. Everything else is absolutely fantastic. Like, I already said that the theme of making these heroes do morally reprehensible things in order to save their own asses is pretty cool. I think the idea of making a team like this is really cool, and I think a whole ongoing series based on them is a really great idea that I wish was done sooner, but yeah, at least they're doing it right now. Hickman has a fantastic voice for every single character. Steve Rogers sounds right. Tony Stark sounds right. Black Panther is really cool in this book. Namor's an asshole, douchebag you just want to kill. Black Bolt doesn't have any lines, of course, because when he says anything, he can pretty much, blow the fuck out of everything. Reed Richards sounds a lot like his 90s animated self, at least in my opinion, because I haven't read a lot of Fantastic Four, and whenever I see Reed Richards, I'm always reminded of the 90s animated series and stuff. So Hickman has a fantastic voice for all of these characters. He knows how to make them all interact and stuff, and he's able to reference things that have happened in the past without beating you over the head with them or making you need to read Avengers versus X-Men and stuff, because in the first issue of this book you see Namor and Black Panther sort of converse with each other. Namor sort of sunk half of Wakanda in AVX. He murdered a lot to T'Challa's people. And, T'Challa just tells him straight up, once all this is over, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to make you pay for what you did to my people. But since you might be useful, I'm going to put my differences with you aside so I can basically save the world. And it's a really great conversation. There are plenty of examples of that. The conversations in this story are just really, really good, and Hickman has a great voice for every single character, and he really drives home that whole notion of these guys are going to do whatever it takes in order to save the world. They actually reassemble the Infinity Gauntlet in the story. They put all the gems of the Infinity Gauntlet into it, and they try to use the gauntlet in order to save the world. Now, if this was any other situation, there's no way in hell they would ever do this. But when your whole world is pretty much going to be destroyed by something that's more powerful than Galactus, you're gonna do whatever it takes, obviously. And Hickman really does drive that point home very, very well. The art by Steve Epting is pretty damn good. Like, the big epic moments are appropriately big and epic. They feel awesome. The battles, while few, like, there isn't a lot of action in this book. This book is mostly about characters just talking, sort of planning what they're going to do, and sort of just trying to stay hopeful in a hopeless situation and stuff. So there isn't really that much action. Most of the action scenes are fairly short, but when they are there, they're very well drawn. They're very cool, dynamic and stuff. And overall, I think the art works really, really well. So, New Avengers, Volume 1, Everything Dies by Jonathan Hickman and Steve Epting, in my book, gets a 9 out of 10. Sure, the cosmic stuff is going to be confusing for some people, but the theme of hopelessness, of doing whatever needs to be done in order to save your own ass, all the character interactions are really great. Hickman has a fantastic voice for all of these characters, and there's just so much likable about this book. But I will tell you, if you don't want something cosmic or sci-fi or something with a lot of talking, do not buy this book. Buy something else, because this is a book where characters talk to each other. They're trying to figure stuff out, and it's really a sort of a character book. It's not really so much story driven, it's more character driven, and I know a lot of people are going to really appreciate this fact. So yeah, New Avengers Volume 1, Everything Dies, gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I think you should totally check this one out in issues, because like I said, the trade isn't going to come out for at least another 2 months. That kind of sucks, but hey, I wish this book was coming out a lot sooner, because Avengers, the main book, is like at issue 12 or 13 at this point, and we are just now getting to the 6th issue of this. So yeah, I wish this book was coming out a little more frequently, especially because how much I enjoyed and stuff. But yeah, that's not really a nitpick of the book. That's just Marvel's retarded release schedule ever since Marvel Now has been released. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm out.